So we'll start with just a few introductions. There's 4 of us here today. So myself, I'm a business development manager at Unity. I look after a lot of the startups across Finland, as well as the education sector. Predominantly dealing with sales services at Unity, so anything from licensing to support to the new services that we're rolling out in the future. That's kind of my bag. I work alongside Nick. So I guess I can do the introductions.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Nick's on the director side, so he would look after a lot of the larger studios, so I guess the likes of Rodeo or Grand Group, those kind of guys. Got Chris in the back over there. He's a technical account specialist, so if you've got any tech questions, he's the one to jab in the ribs. But yeah, Chris kind of supports us guys, so if we're I guess looking after a customer and they're interested in using Unity, they've got concerns about certain areas of the engine, then Chris would usually jump in and help clarify that. And then Andy Touch has disappeared, but
he's getting a coffee.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, excellent. There he is. Excellent. So Andy's our evangelist, so kind of travels the world talking about Unity, updates on a lot of the new features and things like that. So I won't keep you too long because I've got the boring PowerPoint initial slides, but Andy's got the real juicy stuff, so I'll keep it short. So there's been a lot of changes at Unity. We've released the engine entirely for free. We've called it Unity Personal. So there's just a couple of points here. We've got the wonderful Dr. Charles Francis here, and then the evil blacksmith, who's also a little bit cool. But yeah, essentially that engine it's a fully feature-rich engine. Essentially, you can get that for free. We don't charge any royalties to any developers that are using the Personal Edition. The one caveat is that if you are grossing more than 100,000, or you've seen funding, or have a budget of over 100,000, that's when you need to start looking into the professional licensing. So we've changed this somewhat. There's just a couple of examples of some local productions, some of my favourites. I've got one of the Holland guys here. But yeah, we've added a lot of new benefits to the Pro Engine. So I've just listed a couple of them here. So yes, essentially customising that splash screen at the beginning of the game, so you don't have to have the made with Unity Personal splash screen. Rolling out more services moving forward. We've made a great tool for making games, but moving forward we want to focus on enhancing developers' success chances with when they choose to develop with Unity. So Cloud Build and Analytics are 2 examples there. I guess Cloud Build, very briefly, you don't have to sit and press build and go and get coffee, or go and get your lunch while you wait for your production to build to a device. It only works on mobile at the moment, Android and iOS, but it essentially builds it to the cloud. And you can add collaborators from around the world, and they simply get notified by an email, and they can install the app, check the build, see if it failed, see if it succeeded. So essentially a lot of time saved with that new service. Analytics, still in beta. We'll be rolling that out soon, just giving developers a better idea of their user base and how to kind of target their users, or why someone got stuck on the 7th level at this particular point in the game. Team license, we used to charge people for this, was $500 per seat. It's quite confusing, the name. It's not a license that you can use for the whole team. It's got collaborative features wrapped into it to add on. So I guess the key one there is the cache server. So if you're jumping from platform to platform to platform, historically you'd have to wait maybe half an hour for it to rebuild to that platform. Team license caches all of those assets. So the first time you do it, yeah, it might take that long. That's the time when you get coffee, go and get your lunch. The next time you do it, it reduces the compile time by about 99%. So again, just saving you a lot of time when you work with Unity. And that's free with Pro, all of this comes with Pro. Game form supporting, not to be confused with the profiler. This really just finds exceptions within your code and identifies them before you hit the market. So kind of, I guess, almost like a profiler, but for your code specifically. Beta access as well, so stay on top, get access to the .x releases before they hit, so you can get a bit of an insight into some of the new things that we're working on. For example, UNet's going to be around the corner as a new service for back-end multiplayer system from Unity. So it's always good to be ahead of the game. And Asset Store Level 11, which is an interesting one. It's kind of like if any of you own a PlayStation and you've got PlayStation Plus, it's like that for assets basically. We'll deliver a load of free assets each month. I know in March there's about $250 worth of free assets there. Playmaker was one of those. Every month you get new assets with that. So all of this is essentially yours with professional license, and if you're a professional studio and you are over that bracket, then this is the additions that you'll get with those licenses. So moving forward, because not many people are too up to speed on this, but we do have premium paid support services from Unity. So I'll detail a couple of pointers here just as to what that entails. Typically we do have a free support service, but we've got 5.1 million registered users now. So you've got about a 2 to 5 day wait on some of your technical queries. So premium support, we can really get it in place. It's an ongoing service. Ultimately, it will increase your percentage chance of success rate for the project. You'll have direct funnel support from our developer relations engineers. You'll have SLA response times, so you get access to a private portal. You fire off a ticket, and SLA response times could be anywhere between 2 to 24 hours time for the first response and real mission critical stuff. So these support guys, these are professionals of their field. So if you've got a ticket about rendering, it will go through to a professional on the rendering kind of pipeline. So if you've got a ticket about art, it'll go through to an ex-technical director of Disney, for example. So yeah, really the kind of cream of the crop there. You get a set number of hours per month. So I'll give an example of that, but usually, typically, if it's a problem on our end with Unity, we don't start the clock. If it's something that we'll be working on an active workaround for you, then that's usually where they hit the time. So what's interesting, not as many people know this, but if you've hit a wall in your production and there is a bug, and you fire over a ticket to this team, the guys will actually escalate this bug for you through our development team. If there's not a clear fix in sight, they'll find a workaround for you. They'll work on that for you and deliver that. Essentially, the service itself it enables your team really to focus more on creating excellent content and focusing on the production, and we'll take care of the technical issues should any come up. And of course, you get discounted consultancy. Consultancy is a bit different. So that's if you're shipping in 2 days and suddenly everything's gone wrong, and we actually fly an engineer over to you to help. We do have rates for those, but if you're a premium support customer, you get nice percentages on that. So just wanted to give an example. This is typically for a team up to between 5 to 15 in size. So you can see you get 15 hours of our developers' time per month. 2 named contacts there, so 2 of your team can have access to the portal and submit the tickets, 2 concurrent tickets. And you can see this has got the 12-hour SLA response time. I know Pro drops at 8, Enterprise drops at 2. But yeah, all interesting stuff. I guess all of this, we do have rates for these. Me and Nick are kind of your go-to contacts, so I'll pop our emails up there if you want to ask kind of any questions about this. Do grab us later or fire us over an email. I guess just to wrap up, all of this can be purchased a la carte, so you've got pro licensing, support, source code for example, all of that can be purchased straight up a la carte. But we've actually had a lot of interest in the subscription model that we rolled out about a year ago now, and historically that was developed really for independent developers that couldn't afford the upfront fee for a pro license. But what we found is actually a lot of the more established studios found this model really, really attractive. So we have rolled out a new model called Unity Solutions, where we can give a breakdown into all of these licensing, source code, support, training days, consultancy, and we can wrap it into a monthly payment. So it's fairly fresh, but if you need more information about that, me and Nick can go to the context. But yeah, I said I wouldn't keep you too long, so we'll now move on to the interesting stuff and to the touch.